Hello everybody, and welcome to What's Been Playing, the show where we put a spotlight on select video games and answer that lifelong question of, what is really worth playing? It's time to take a look at the second half of the Super Mario Bros. 2 story. While gamers outside of Japan were feverishly waiting for a new sequel to hit store shelves, Japanese gamers were already treated to the true sequel to Super Mario Bros. 2, leaving behind it a path of sadness and despair. This game has quite the reputation amongst the other 2D games in the series, and for good reason. The true sequel to Super Mario Bros. Exclusive to Japanese audiences. The question is, why did this game take so long to come to the US and to the States? I mean, we didn't get this game until 1993, where it was a part of the Super Mario Bros. All-Stars collection on the Super Nintendo, under the name of Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. So for it to take 7 years for this game to see the light of day outside of Japan, there must have been something that kept it from staying in Japan. And I'm sure that whatever it is going to piss me the fuck off. So without further ado, let's struggle through this bumpy ride together and get this one out of the way, more or less. Let's take a look at Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. So let's go back a bit. As I said in the last episode, Super Mario Bros. Was a resounding success, and the Big N found a formula that works. With that in mind, it's only natural that a sequel would be planned out. I mean, the first game had so much potential to expand upon the foundation it built. Well, a sequel eventually did hit store shelves not long after, in 1986, with the Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2 for the Famicom. The game was ready to be brought over to the States, but upon Nintendo of America giving it a glance, the idea was ultimately declined, as well as in Europe, claiming that it was too hard. While I don't see that as a reason to completely cancel a game, I'm sure it was nice knowing that this game didn't exist for just a bit longer, and go on thinking that this was the true sequel. As previously mentioned, it wasn't until 1993 when everyone else finally got this game in the form of Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, as part of the Super Mario All-Stars collection on the Super Nintendo. Now, the original version was eventually brought over to platforms like the Wii Virtual Console and whatnot, but this episode will be completely captured off the NES Online version on the Switch. But I mean, if you think about it, pretty much every well-known NES game got an international release, no matter how hard it was. Who knows, maybe they were trying to protect the brand or something? Well, let's get into it and see why this game initially got the boot. Rather than doing what most sequels do and try to build upon the formula that the predecessor built as well as incorporate new ideas, this game takes the term sequel as literally as possible. This is literally Super Mario Bros. 2. Almost everything here is the same. The graphics, the sound, the mechanics, the enemies, the gameplay elements. Not much has changed here at all from a visual and gameplay standpoint. There are a few small graphical changes with some environmental details looking better like the ground, but that's about it. There's still flagpoles to reach, enemies to stomp, power-ups to get, Bowser to defeat, and a princess to save. Rather than a two-player mode, because why would you want to play this with someone else anyways? You'll notice that you can choose a Mario and Luigi game. Mario controls just how he did in the first game, while Luigi has a lower traction with the perk of a higher jump, which is where this trait initially got its debut. But trust me, that's only setting yourself up for despair with the ludicrously absurd level design we have here. I guess it's about time to address the elephant in the room. I mean, with how similar this game is to the first, what else can I say that I haven't said already? The main reason that this game was deemed too hard was because of one of the most extreme difficulty spikes I have ever seen between games. I will say right now, yes, I use the rewind feature occasionally, and while I'm not the most proud of it, do you think I care enough to finish this game legit? No! The first thing you better be doing when you start this game is pull off the infinite 1-up trick, because you're going to need them. The game doesn't pull any punches. The World 1 stages here are as if there were more worlds directly after the 8th world in the original Mario Bros. Jumps that require extremely precise timing that are mostly do-or-die scenarios, flat out bullshit like right here. What the fuck just happened? Extremely cryptic parts of the level that usually require looking for hidden blocks, like right here with this giant wall. Like, come on, really? You have to look for where each hidden block is to get on top, but is this really level design? And oh, those troll moments. These can fuck right off. I've seen plenty of videos of people playing this game, and the kinds of things that players run into is completely absurd. Awful hidden block placement like right here, getting trapped in an area where you can escape, a section of the level where you can jump over the flagpole and be taken to a warp zone where you either go back, not forward, back to World 1, or kill yourself. Like, what the fuck, guys? And all of my problems control-wise with the first Mario Bros. Game are present as well, so combine those things and you're gonna get a lot of frustration. This level design just doesn't complement the way Mario or Luigi control, so a fraction of the time, deaths don't even feel like they're your fault. Not helping the situation is the dipshit enemy placement. Oh my god, this makes it so much worse. Certain new variants of enemies are introduced, like red piranha plants that come up from their pipes much quicker and come out of their pipes when you're standing next to them now. And hammer bros that fucking follow you. You are going to get a game over a lot. But if there's one thing I can give them credit for, is that it's easier to continue from the world you died in. In the previous game, it was technically possible to continue if you held down A and start at the game over screen, but that wasn't the easiest to figure out. Here, you just have a simple continue button, and an unlimited amount of continues, so that's fair at least. You also still have power-ups to give you a hand, but having them is a luxury, especially the Fire Flower, which I can recall only having a few times. You'll only be losing them not long after getting them, so what's the... Whoa, wait a minute. Did that mushroom just fucking kill me? It just killed me. What the fuck? Wait a minute.
What that mushroom doing?
Well, hospital food for me. But no, this is a poison mushroom, a mushroom lookalike that kills you when you touch it. It's usually easy to spot thanks to the different color patterns, but in some areas like underground, it's hard to tell if what you're about to grab is a poison one or not. The developers designed this game for players who have mastered the mechanics from the first game. That in of itself isn't a problem, it's the fact that the most primitive idea for a sequel was taken, with the idea that, oh, it's a sequel, you must be a master at the first game. How about a difficulty selection maybe? I don't know. I guess an unlimited continue mitigates that, but was an easy mode and a hard mode that hard to create? It's hard to explain, because when looking at this footage, some people might say that it looks like it's not that bad. And you know what? The control is still as fun as ever, and in those rare moments where the level design isn't pissing you the fuck off, it's not the worst. But those moments are so far and few between. It's something you just have to play for yourself, you know? The game ends exactly the same way as the last one, with you saving Princess Peach at the end. Oh, by the way, the last castle features a fake Bowser, so you're essentially fighting Bowser twice. We do have some stuff to do after the princess is saved, though. Some of you might be aware of worlds A through D, extra levels to torture yourself with. But you want to know how to unlock them in the original game? You have to beat the game 8 fucking times. 8 times? That's ridiculous! And for what? More disappointment? No thanks. Luckily, in Super Mario All-Stars, the amount was changed to 1, but still, the game isn't over after reaching the princess? Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels is a game that tries to disguise itself as a sequel to the first Super Mario Bros., but it's just way too difficult for its own good. It feels more like a Kaizo hack rather than a legitimate game. You know what I mean, right? Those super difficult hacks for older Mario games? The game has too many elements of frustrating level design and bad enemy placement to be considered a comfortable romp. It's easy to see why this game didn't leave Japan initially. Control-wise, there's no problem here. It still feels like a Mario game, but there are too many distractions to truly make it feel like you're playing one. I mean, even in Super Mario Bros. Deluxe on the Game Boy, this game was titled Super Mario Bros. For Super Players. But this game with screen crunch? Oh god, no. It's almost like the Mega Man and base of Mario games, the one game that had a ridiculously obnoxious difficulty spike by means that don't make it a fair challenge. It leaves for an experience that makes you feel good about beating it, but only because it's over. It's not one of my least favorite Mario games of all time or anything, but it's definitely down there with some of my least favorites. But hey, if this kind of challenge is your thing, more power to you. But it's probably something I won't revisit for a very long time, if I even revisit it to begin with. But the good part is, this bumpy part of the trip is finally over. It's like that embarrassing picture at the Christmas party that you wish everybody would forget. Initially, I was thinking about combining both the Super Mario Bros. 2 episode and the Lost Levels into one, since they're technically both Super Mario Bros. 2. But I wanted to talk about the English Super Mario Bros. 2 first, because I think it would have been better to split them up because of how similar Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels is. But with that bumpy part of the ride over, it's time to get to the good stuff. Next time, we have what might be one of the most popular games of its generation, or even one of the most popular games of all time. So when I return, we'll be taking a look at Mario's last platforming adventure on the system, Super Mario Bros. 3. With that, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.